And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that brief reprieve of all the intense StarCraft that we've been having here today. But we are now back with what is soon to be a qualifying match. Both Lambo and Harstem have been working very hard here to make it through this bracket, to make it this far as well. I mean, shout out to both Harstem and Lambo because they actually made their own way to this event. For those who are wondering, we are covering, of course, the open brackets, which means there were no flights played, no accommodations either. Both of these players have made their own way here, and yeah, they as a result, they are looking to make a deep run to make their travel here worth their while. Oh boy, so it's all on the line here and now. Is it? The winner of this series moves on to the next round, next stage even.
Yeah, that's right. This is really important games for these two players, and I think we're going to be seeing no holds barred. I think they both take each other very seriously. We'll have a lot of respect, and they are teammates as well. So that makes me wonder if we're going to be seeing something a little bit weird.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, it's always so weird when we get into these matches where the two players are very familiar with each other. It does lead into some metagaming going on as well. I was able to see and catch up with the chat, and they were letting us know that apparently Harstem does go for that opener on stream, but not in tournaments. But something like that, I'm sure Lambo is fully aware of.
Yeah, definitely. But here we go. We are kicking things off on Babylon once again and spawning. In the top left-hand corner of the map, it is our German Zerg in the red, playing for Shopify Rebellion. This is Lambo.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Babylon, we have as opponent, we have the blue Protoss player, also representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Harstem. Boy, here we go. Unfortunately, not going to be a best of 5. That's probably the biggest criticism I have so far of this group stage, is that every single match is a best of 3. Understandable because we have a lot of StarCraft to go over today, but it does make that series that much more brutal, as you have less room for error.
You wanted a best of 5 of 40-minute games?
Yeah. PVZ, Poppy. You kidding? Of course, Poppy. Of course. What do you mean?
Yeah, as we do have a pretty cool matchup here. So it's kind of the teachers, the YouTube content creators. We have the Zerg teacher here, headmaster of Zerg School, Lambo, and headmaster of Protoss School, Mr. Harstem down here.
Yeah,
I feel like when you are looking to learn the two races, these are where you go.
100%. I mean, shout out to these two players. They're not just good at the game, but they're also quality content creators as well, with their streams and with their YouTube channels. The only person we're missing is Uthermal, as
yeah.
I would say he's the Terran equivalent for these two players here. So yeah, I wonder what kind of wisdom they're going to be imparting upon us, if any at all. As you mentioned earlier, like when two players that really know each other so well face off, things can get really weird.
Yeah, there might be a bit of don't try this at home action going on here. I will say as well, Lambo, he's well known for being a very strong preparation player. So I think that's more where it's going to come in, where Harstem's going to know that he can't do anything with obvious tells that they've been over with each other. I don't really expect to see Harstem doing anything really weird. But I do expect him to be throwing off some red herrings, which I think can be very strong against a player like Lambo.
Yeah, I think we've seen that before in WTL, for example, where you can definitely play with the expectations of Lambo in a series and in a game and take advantage of that as well. You know, famously, Firefly for the Starving Camels was able to pull something like that off as well. So yeah, we'll see if Harstem is one to take advantage of that, as we do see him going for that third base as he works on his first Oracle. So yeah, it's looking to be quite fond of this opener tonight.
Yeah, there we go. We get that super fast third base here. And does Lambo know about this? Does Lambo care? I mean, I guess the other way that you could approach this is just skip Lings altogether.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, because the probe is not going to be harassing your bases, that you can just drone up heavily behind this as well. Also a fun fact, apparently Harstem took this build from a YouTube video that he made, or a series, potentially from another person as well, called The Greediest Man Alive, which is very fitting for the build. It makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. As we do see this Oracle being very aggressively stubbed out here. Won't get too much done, and yeah, it looks like I think Lambo's only made the 2 Lings so far, so he is reading this quite well.
Yeah, Lambo is just droning up very heavily behind this. He's looking to try to meet the greed of Harstem with greed of his own, and isn't going to get baited into trying to flood and overwhelm this space. I do think that Ling rushing this third base is kind of what Harstem wants.
Okay, and we're going to be seeing Glaives once again. This could get really scary for Lambo, actually. I think this is that kind of mind games that we were talking about playing in here, where both players are like, oh yeah, we've played this super greedy game before, and Lambo going for a Bane nest. This can get really weird.
Yes.
We've seen Dark doing this a lot, playing Ling Bane against Adepts, and it's always just odd. I don't know how to read it.
Yeah, it's so risky. I mean, this was a 4-minute 30 Baneling nest from Lambo, so very early on here, as you were saying, he will have Banelings available to defend. Not as reliable as Roaches to defend against Glaive Adepts, but still possible as long as your Banelings are they are, like, in a way premature, or they're already pre-made, and they are ready here to keep up with those shades, as Lambo is going for his own Link Flood. The other thing I was curious about is if this was a Baneling nest just to be aggressive himself, kind of like what DRG was doing against Zane.
Yeah, it certainly could be, and suddenly we see a bit of a clash of ideas between the two players. Looks like Harstem is going to be going for a very similar build to the one that he did use in Game 1 versus DRG, where he's going to be going into Blink and +1 behind this.
And the Banelings aren't done.
Oh, there's no Banes.
Yeah, there are no Banelings ready for this, as the Adepts do shade on in. They were catching, or they have caught Lambo completely off guard. The Banelings are now complete, but before that happens, drones are falling. The Adepts do commit to a shade over towards a third.
Alright, and how good are the splits? It looks like the Ling's going to be holding those Adepts in place. They are pretty nicely separated, but that's going to allow the Lings to get on top of them, as Harstem not going to be committing any further to this, and looks like this has gone pretty well for Lambo.
Yeah, he only loses 3 drones, which is nowhere near enough to justify all these Adepts. That was 16 Adepts down the drain, and now with what Lambo has left over, he can go for a counterattack and try and deny this 4th.
Yeah, Lambo has traded much better than Harstem here, and Harstem as well being a little bit greedy with this transition, but 4th's going to be going down. Blink and +1 on the way. He's being forced to pump out units now.
Yeah, he is, as the Banelings do waddle into that third base. Thankfully, Harstem is able to pull back in time. Lambo will back off behind this. We are saturating that 4th base as we speak. He's been able to, again, not just maintain his economy, but just get even further ahead.
Yeah, Lambo is playing this out absolutely perfect. He had the big flood of units at the perfect time, gets the counter damage as well, and is now well ahead on workers.
He really is. Meanwhile, the Oracles are looking to try to make up for that. So 2 drones will go down, but only 2 for the time being. And again, Harstem is still looking for even more damage behind this. Hydra Den is thrown down, so Lambo is going to be going for Lingbane Hydra that can transition into, of course, Lurkers as well, if need be. And Harstem is still working his way up towards Blink. You know, he's still trying to recover after investing into those glaives.
Yeah, it's crazy how fast these players progress through these games. It's only 7:30, and I feel like so much has happened already in this game.
It really has, and after all said and done here, it does feel like Harstem, though, has kind of relinquished map control. Like, Lambo is threatening here with his Lings. He's going to be able to get us around on some of these Adepts. The Nexus isn't done. We won't have a shield battery, sorry, no, an overcharge, but that is enough to force Lambo back for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, we do have Glaive Adepts at the moment, that's a pretty nice resource when it comes to do with all these things.
You're not wrong. I was curious as to why they were trading so well. I was like, oh, right, Glaives. Yeah, that did just happen. True.
As we're going to be seeing Lambo going into Lingbane Hydra this time, and he does have a very good lead on his upgrade, so that +2 timing is going to hit hard.
Yeah, it really will. For the time being, the Lynx are trying to just clear out these rocks, get even more map control. We're kind of baiting these Stalkers out into the open. The Lynx are looking for us around. We do bait out that blink at the end of the day, but we do have Oracles here looking to support, looking to rain down upon these Lynx.
Yeah, and they will be forced to do so. We have a few Hydras here as well, so Lambo with a pretty scary timing. Once the Oracle energy does run out, there's not going to be that much back at home, which is why this run by is so important. But all these Adepts are they're having issues.
Yeah, they're a little bit stuck here against the Spore, against these Queens. They are going to be all going down, so good reaction, fast reaction out of Lambo. Meanwhile, he can focus on his assault instead. His Hydra army is getting a little bit out of control. We do have a shield battery, we do have an overcharge set up here at this 4th base, but Lambo is looking to lay siege upon it once he does max out.
Yeah, Harstem just trying to split these armies away from each other, but Lambo, he's just so decisive here with the army movement. Going to be running straight on in here. Sandwiches with the Lynx. Bane's going to be coming in after that.
Yeah, the Banelings, they roll on forward. They get into the mineral line as well. They build and a GG gets called, and Lambo will take game number 1.
GG. And a brutal game coming out from Lambo. He just looked so in control from start to finish.
Yeah, exactly. That was a really powerful showing out of Lambo. We were talking about it. Lambo clearly aware of how Harstem plays and was able to just keep up, not just keep up, but overtake Harstem as well. Yeah, it was so difficult for him, or unfortunately he invested into those Glaive Adepts and they just didn't really do much for him, and they kind of set himself behind as a result.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like Lambo read that situation extremely well and was able to have the perfect response to get ahead.
Yeah, he really did, and now it's going to be on Harstem to try to bounce back in this series. As a reminder, it is merely a best of 3, not a best of 5, so Harstem, he can't make any more mistakes moving on forward here, or he has to be careful with his build choices, I should say, when going up against Lambo.
And we are back on Grassfan, so buckle up, settle in.
Oh, let's go.
Be a big game ahead of us.
Tie me up.
I had to let that in. As spawning here in the top left-hand corner of the map, it is the red Zerg playing for the Shopify Rebellion. This is Lambo.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Grassfan, we have his opponent. We have the blue Protoss player representing the Shopify Rebellions. It is Harstem. Boy, here we go. And I think coming into this, I think we can both get on board with the fact that Harstem will be unlikely to go into a Glaive Adept follow-up after those initial oracles. I'm probably gonna whip that out once in the series and only once. But yeah, he was able to once again get away with that faster 3rd base so far every game that we've seen from him.
Yeah, I am curious to see if that Ling Bane response was something that Lambo had to catch out Adepts, or whether that was something that he wants to do to punish this fast 3rd from Harstem. And I think if we do see the same fast 3rd from Harstem, Lambo might go for it again, and we'll be able to see what he had planned.
Yeah, exactly. Likewise, I'm also really curious to see how the dynamic does play out between these two players and between those two builds, if that is what does unfold. So we'll see. Keep an eye on things. Once again, we're here on Grassfan, and hope you're ready to strap in once again, because I'm ready for another 40-minute game. I won it, Papi. I won it. Oh.
It's okay. It'll be a good game.
Yeah.
I can take it.
Yeah, nice. I knew you could, Papi. I mean, you've been preparing for it, right? Like you yourself have been playing a little bit of Protoss, a little bit of SkyToss.
Yeah, I did play some late games, and it's kind of disgusting. Well, it's not kind of disgusting. It is disgusting. Protoss is gross.
As Lambo is going to be producing these things very early on here as well, more than is normal, is going to be looking to bank them up a little bit back at home. And he may be looking to try and punish that faster third base, as we'll see if Harstem does end up opting to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, including the series with DRG, we've seen Harstem go for it 3 times in a row. I think a player like Lambo is not going to let that fly. We even saw DRG kind of adapting to it on the fly and going for that aggressive Ling flood in the second game. And I think Lambo's going to do the same thing. I feel like once you see that once, you just kind of go, that's not allowed. Like, I can't let you do that again.
Yeah, it's illegal, if you will. And Lambo is going for a much more aggressive variation. Then we got the fast third base once again, and Lambo is going for a 19 drone all in. 19 drones is all he has. The wall is not a wall. Lings do flood in, and this pylon is going to be going down. Ay, ay, ay.
I think we're having a recall on 1 adept.
Thankfully, 2 adepts, but the pylon does fall. That is the production available here for Harstem. He does have an oracle on the way, but these things are going to make sure that this base doesn't get, or these gateways don't get repowered, as he wants to get on top of these adepts. Up!
Yeah, I mean, the greediest thing about what Harstem's been doing here is he's skipping that second gateway. And, oh, yeah, the Ling's just getting on top of everything, and Lambo has just punished this in absolutely perfect fashion. GG is called Lambo. Swift 2-0.
GG, well played. Lambo, recognizing how greedy Harstem has been today, every single game so far, and here in the final game, he punishes it hard. He shows you why it is unsafe to go for this build, to go for this opener, and just like that, Harstem, he qualifies, he makes it through, he makes it into the next round.
Yeah, Lambo is going to be qualifying here with that, and in pretty brutal fashion. I feel like that was just the textbook response. Very impressive that he was able to work that out so quickly on the fly. And yeah, congratulations to Lambo. Going to have a bit of a shorter day here, but it is not over for Harstem.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, we were kind of anticipating something like this to go on with like how familiar these players are with each other, and it was really cool to see Lambo just react so quickly to Harstem's overall build, to his overall play style, and yeah, it was it wasn't the series that we wanted, I don't think. I think we wanted something a little bit more dynamic and more back and forth, but congratulations to Lambo, and as you were saying, Harstem will have another chance in that lower bracket.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully Harstem's PvP has been on point, because he is going to be dropping down to face, I believe it'll be, let me see how much the bracket has progressed. Okay, we have Mana waiting for the winner of DRG and Night Phoenix, and Harstem will face the winner of that match.
Yeah, we may not have too much time to ourselves, because DRG is out of game as we speak, and I don't see Night Phoenix, so either they finished or they're waiting to jump into another game together. And if they're done, then we're going to be casting the winner against Mana.